All right, shalom. This is Kanaksa Anban Yasher Allah from the Lion's Den of Yasher Allah camp. First and foremost, I'd like to say Kal Halayim La Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, by Shem Habakkuk Dash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone, and salutations to the occupant of pushing the truth and sincerity and truth. And peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. All right. The topic I want to go into is this phrase, TEOTWAWKI, which means the end of the world as we know it. And it was a famous song done by REM. And we're approaching that time of that exact same phrase. Because, Esau knows exactly what's about to happen, what's about to go down. The elites, that is, the ones that, that are running things, they know they have but a short time. They know their time period's come to an end. And Jacob is the beginning of the follower, according to the scriptures. And I just want to go into it a little bit. Because a lot of times when you try to teach people and tell people about the end of the world, they want to say that it's basically act like you're saying it's the end of humanity. It's not in the Most High's will to destroy all humanity. If that was the case, he would have destroyed everybody during the time of the flood. He would have destroyed everybody to the time of Sodom and Gomorrah. He pulled those righteous seeds out that that were chosen to be saved before the destruction, right? To replenish humanity on earth in righteousness. Okay, so the ones that have the righteous spirit within them, those are the ones that are going to be pulled through the fire and this go around and get salvation. All right, and be set up as the 144,000 are going to be the governing tabernacle of David. Then you have the 1/3 men, women, and children of Israel that believe, being the governing body. I'm not the governing body, but being the innumerable multitude. Even though 2/3 of Israel shall perish, there's still a lot of people that'll be, compared in number is like, because the scripture said he made the previous world for many, but the world to come for few. All right, it's going to be a significant, drastic change in number of people on the earth. Versus, but it's going to be a pretty decent amount that gets saved because if you can understand that children of Israel are as the sand of the sea, so 1/3 of Israel is still a lot of people. So the Most High is not doing away with all of humanity. All right, so like a lot of people and that's what they try to use that fear factor for, to control the masses. However, the Most High had to set up a plan to where he's going to cleanse the earth to set it up for his righteous son Yahushua to rule with the children of Israel, the elect. All right, and then all of Israel is going to be born into the kingdom. Okay, so I just want to go into get a couple scriptures just talking about this for the destruction of the tearing down, and the rebuilding, so to speak. Okay. All right. First scripture I want to get is let me get second Ezra chapter 6. Is it 6? Yeah. It's chapter 6. The second Ezra chapter 6. It's verse 7. It says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of times, or when shall the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? All right, and it said, and he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. And that just shows you the transitioning, of the kingdom from the wicked kingdom to the righteous kingdom, right? So scripture says he shall bruise the head and we shall bruise the heel. All right, so us grabbing onto the heel of Esau is the transitioning them, taking them down at the feet. Okay, and when you go to the statue of Nebuchadnezzar, okay, it says for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it to follow it. All right, so it says the hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand. All right, other question Ezra asks thou not. All right. The point was for Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. The simple fact because Esau was set up to have this wicked kingdom here on earth, right? To show us who the mystery of iniquity is and who the devil is. That's just plain and simple. Has nothing to do with color. It just has to do all to do with the will of the Most High, you know. And it's hard for people to understand and grasp that because they want to teach hate. But you know, hatred is taught more by action than it is words. Because look at the atrocities that the so-called white man has done over these times, throughout centuries, ever since they came up out of the Caucasus Mountains. Look at all the things they have done. You know, that's teaching hate. That's more than teaching hate. That's showing hatred. But then when you try to speak verses coming from the Bible, people want to try to tend to say that you're being hateful and hurtful. Well, the truth hurts, just like the truth about us going into bondage and being slaughtered. Our women's stomachs were being cut wide open and babies' heads bashed on the pavement. These are actual events that really happened. And we're telling you about, we prophesy about upcoming events, and it's all hatred in the world. But when we try to speak of the events that happened in the past, people like to tend to say, let it go, you know? But then they'll tell you about 9/11, never forget. But they want you to forget the things that were done to the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, it's Job chapter 9, verse 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So it's all about, you know, it says the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. So it wasn't really that the so-called white man, Esau, did so much to gain the kingdom of heaven, to gain this, not the kingdom of heaven, Slocky, wrong, a very poor choice of words, to gain his kingdom or his heavenly state, let me put it that way, is the Most High set it up that way. Like the scripture said, for the same reason I lifted Pharaoh up to show my power in thee. So he's doing the same thing with the so-called white man. It says, this is Daniel chapter 4, verse 17. It says, this is by the decree of the watchers and the demand of the Holy One, Shalaki, demand by the word of the Holy Ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and he giveth to whomsoever he will, and he set it up over it the basis of men. So only the living are going to understand. So the ones that remain in the congregation of the dead are not going to understand that saying. They're not going to understand that the Most High set up all these kingdoms just to show his power and his might and just to show who he is to the face of the world. All right. So it says Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. So it's going to be a kingdom of righteousness, right? Let me get 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 13. It says, nevertheless, we according to his promise look for a new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. And that's what we're looking for right now, because the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. You see all these wicked, perverse things going on right now. Everybody living for the occasion of the flesh. They don't want any structure. They want to do whatever seems to feel good according to the flesh. All right. So that's why you have Babylon all over again, the city of confusion. All right. So America is Babylon the Great, which was set up by the so-called white man. But according to Isaiah, I think 14, I want to say 15 or 17 or something like that, it says he has made the whole world a wilderness. And he's done that, you know. So the whole world is in a confused state because the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. All right. But we look for a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. All right. This is Revelation chapter 21, verse 1. It says, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth passeth away, and there was no more sea. All right. So so the world as we know it today is going to perish. But that doesn't mean all of humanity is going to perish. That's not what that's saying. All right. So at the end of the one world and the beginning of the next, meaning that time period. Esau has their time to rule. Now, right after that is Jacob's time to rule. All right. So let me get a couple of scriptures just going into that. That was just a little introduction. I'm gonna get a couple of scriptures going into that. You know what I'm saying? So this is slacking. This is John chapter 12, verse 31. It says, "Now is the judgment of this world. Now shall the prince of this world be cast out." And who is the prince of this world? And we just said the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And who is that wicked root? It'll tell you in First Maccabees. It came from the Greeks, to the Romans, to America, what you see today. So you had the Macedonians, the Grecians, the Greco-Roman Empire going in from the Diadochi to the Triumvirate, then Rome fully being built up, and then from that, you had Rome was quieted down from the Byzantine Empire. Then you had the Renaissance period, and then you have like the rebirthing of Rome, dealing with NATO and the European Union, and then which set up. Well, America was set up by Britain, from which Britain and England set up the European Union and NATO, which is the spearhead. All right, NATO being the beast. Okay. So with that being said, um, um, now it's their time for their time period to be cast down. All right. So it's been prophesied for years and years and years, centuries and centuries for this to happen, and now we're getting to the point where it's happening. All right. Let me get Ezekiel chapter 12, verse 28. It says, "Therefore say unto them, Thus saith the Lord, there shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith the Lord." So we've been speaking about it for a time past, from prophecy, prophets, from generation to generation. And now you're seeing the manifestation of what's been spoken in the past come to light. And you see it, even people that are not in the truth are noticing, and I did a lesson called a paradigm shift in the universe. So you're noticing that paradigm shift through these prophecies, man. You know what I'm saying? The Most High is setting it up like that. And it's a beautiful thing because what does it mean? It means the salvation of the children of Israel, man. All right? This is, so basically, basically, we're witnessing our captivity being turned back right before our eyes. All right? Let me get Habakkuk. I said I wasn't going to make this too long, but wherever the Spirit takes me, we're going to go. All right, this is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. It says, "For the vision is yet for an important time, but at the end it shall speak." And we're at that end. All right, we were at that end. We were at that end period when Yahushua was crucified, and when you know what I'm saying. Really, we're at that, going towards that end period when Alexander the Great was set up. Because the scripture said Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of the follow it. All right. It says Habakkuk 2 and 3. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." It says, "Behold, the soul which is lifted up in him, which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith." All right. Who are the just? The elect of the children of Israel, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the speckled bird. All right. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. All right. Who is that? Neither keepeth at home. The so-called white man wants to explore all over the whole world and conquer and take. And this so-called discover, which, you know what I'm saying, that's the word they like to use for steal, and discover other lands. It says, because they don't keep it, who enlarges his desires as hell and is as death. Because what do? They kill, steal, and destroy everywhere they go. All right, it says, "And cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people." And that's exactly what he does, And the thing about it is, you know what I'm saying, it's not really dealing with color because you're going to have other nations. You're going to have Edom that looks like other nations because when they try to conquer everywhere, they plant the seeds everywhere. All right? And you're going to have Israel that looks like other nations because the Most High scattered them throughout the four corners of the earth. All right? It says, verse 6, it says, Shall not all these take up a proverb against him and take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long to him how long? Question mark. To him that ladeth himself with thick clay. So he's putting himself not only in financial debt, but he's putting himself into debt, like like his deadly stocks are rising up from all the iniquity that he commits on this earth or everywhere he goes. All right. So the Most High has to come see him about that. All right. This is Isaiah chapter 34, verse 5. It says, For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of, of my curse to judgment. All right. And that's just it. And that's how the Most High is going to come down on Esau and these other nations, man. You know? All right. Let me get Isaiah chapter 47. Isaiah chapter 47, verse 1, it says, Come and sit down in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne. All right, because I mean, America sits on the throne like, you know, nothing can happen to them. Every kingdom has fallen over the years. The only kingdom that's going to stand forever is the righteous kingdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Thus saith the Lord. You know, it says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. All right, so Mosiah is lifting up the skirts of Esau to show everybody, the whole world, well, America, you know, of the whole world of their wickedness. All right. It said, Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. And that's the thing about it. Yahweh Shai is not going to show up as a man where he can be put back up on the cross and crucified. No, he's going to show up in his angelic body. You know? He's going to show up with power, pretty much. He's going to show up as a god. All right? Next scripture is Ezekiel 35:1. It says, Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. All right? And say unto it, Thus saith the Lord, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. So that's how the Most High is going to prove his existence to these other nations, to Edom, through Alashaja, meaning demonic-like power, almighty power. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's how he's going to show himself to them. And also to us, he's going to show, to the elect, he's going to show his merciful side in glory and salvation. All right? It says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Because that's how, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by force of the sword in the time of their calamities, and the time of their iniquities had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, saith the Lord, shall pursue thee. Sit thou, and since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So they don't, America and the so-called white man does not care about the amount of bloodshed that they do. Killing the police, killing our children on the streets, From what we went through in slavery, all the wars that are being, proxy wars that are being done by Russia and America, because Russia is Edom also. That's just it. They they don't hate blood. They love blood, you know, and that's just it. But the thing about it is, the ones that are in the know, that study the word of Yahweh Shim Yahushua and deal with prophecy, uh, shall be covered in that day. Let me get Isaiah 33:1. It says, "Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou hast not spoiled, thou wast not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealeth not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end of to deal treacherously, then they shall deal treacherously with thee." All right. It says, "O Lord, be gracious unto us. We have waited for thee." And that's what the true elect of the children of Israel are doing. We're waiting on Yahweh Shem Yahushua to deliver us, because we're not violent. Because the scriptures say, though we are, matter of fact, I'm gonna get it. Since people try to say that, because we say they shall, like, dealing with homosexuality or whatever it is, there's certain laws in the Bible that say if you break them, you shall be put to death. Thus saith the Lord. But we haven't put our hands on anybody. We're not out here like Black Panthers, and we're not Black Hebrew Israelites. We're not a radical group. The only thing we go out there with Bibles and words and teaching the truth. That's just it. The truth is our defense. And the problem with the society, like Rand Paul, was it Ron Paul? He said, truth is treason in a world full of lies. All right, because we're out here teaching truth, and it inflicts the soul of other individuals. All right, it compels them to hate us. And you're not hating us; you're hating the Most High. We're just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3. "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the power of Yahweh, pulling down the strongholds. What are strongholds? Philosophies of the mind that our people follow behind, because they have Stockholm syndrome. It's another form of slavery. Another form of slavery when when you convince people to do what they think that when you convince people that you make them think that what you want them to do is what they want to do, and that's not always the case. Our people are sick, and Yahushua and the Word, Yahweh Shem Yahushua and the Word can heal them. But our people want to look at us and hate, like we hate, because they want to live according to the flesh. They don't want to correct themselves, so they feel like they can correct the Most High by saying, I believe in something, or love is love, or can't we all just get along? And no, we can't get along, because if you're being wicked, I have something against that. All right, can we find common ground? The common ground is the truth. That's just it. All right, it says, "Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of Yahweh, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahweh Shai." So the thing about it is, casting down imaginations. And people that think that certain things are right, thinking eating pork is right, thinking the laws are done away with, all right, that's an imagination and a device of man. Device meaning an imagination. Because the devices of man, sin and death has entered into the world. All right. Back in Isaiah chapter 33, verse 2, it says, "O Lord, be gracious unto us, for we have waited for thee. Be thou there an army, be thou there arm every morning, our salvation also in the time of trouble." And that's the Most High is going to be there for us in the time of trouble. Those that really believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, it says, "At the noise of the tumult, the people fled. At the lifting up of thyself, the nations were scattered. And your spoil shall be gathered like the gathering of the caterpillar. As the running to and fro of locusts shall he run upon them." Like, what do locusts and caterpillars do? They consume things. And that's what the Most High is going to do, man, when he sends Yahweh Shai down here in the holy angels. Okay? And it says, the Lord is exalted, for he dwelleth on high. He hath filled Zion with judgment and righteousness. All right? And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability in that time of that time, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So the ones that fear Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai are going to give reverence unto him and praise unto them, and be occupied in wisdom and prophecy. Okay? So for the rest of the world, it will be the end of the world as they know it. But for the elect of the children of Israel, it'll be beginning of a righteous kingdom. And but all of Israel shall be saved, you know. I'm gonna close it out with this. Let me get Isaiah chapter 66. Wait. Let me get chapter 65 and 8 first. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, as new wine is found in the cluster, and one saith, destroy it not, for a blessing is in it. So will I do for my servants' sake, that I may not destroy them all. I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob and out of Judah, and an inheritor of my mountains, and mine elect shall inherit it, and my servants shall dwell there." All right, and that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. That's the elect in salvation. I'm gonna close it out with this. This is Isaiah 66 and 15. It says, "Before behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire." All right, so the Lord's gonna do all the judging, and Yahweh Shai and the holy angels, man. So you know, he said, "Let vengeance be his." He said, "Wait on him till he rise up against the prey." All right, and that's what we're doing. We're not out there being violent. We're not out there like Black Panthers, because we know we have no power in this society right now. We have to wait for our true power to show up, and that's what we wait on. All right, it says, "For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abominations, and the mouth shall be consumed together." So those of you that's acting like y'all with it, y'all with the truth, but you're really not, and you know what I'm saying, acting like you're in the truth in front of men, but when you back behind closed doors, you're still doing wickedness. The Most High is going to judge you too. He sees through all that. It says, "For I know their works and their thoughts. It shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory." All right, and that's going to be a beautiful thing. It's going to be dreadful for most, but for the elect, it's going to be beautiful. "And I will set a sign among them, and I will send those that escape of them unto the nation of Tarshish, Pul, and Lud, that draw the bow, to Tubal, and to Javan, to the isles afar off, that have not heard my fame, neither have seen my glory. They shall declare my glory among the Gentiles." All right. It says, "And they shall bring all your brethren from afar, from an offering unto the Lord out of all nations, whose horses and chariots and litters and upon mules and upon swift beasts, to my holy mountain Jerusalem, saith the Lord, as the children of Israel bringing an offering in a clean vessel." All right, we're gonna have new bodies into the house of the Lord that can't go off. So because our righteousness right now is as filthy rags, but when He gives us His new bodies and put the laws in our inward parts, we're gonna be as new clean vessels. All right, according to Zechariah 13. That is the fountain, and that fountain is Yahweh Shai. That's for the house of Israel and Judah for cleansing it. All right. It says, Verse 21, it says, I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, saith the Lord. For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith the Lord, so shall your seeds and your name remain. All right. And that, with that being said, I want to say Kal Halayim La Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Harakakadash Ma'amam. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth, and peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Keep up the faith. We're almost out of here into the righteous kingdom. Shalom.